Hello, Collective. Welcome to my channel. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. I hope that you are all well blessed. You enjoyed your weekend. You're getting ready to start your week off in a very good way. Make sure you go like, share, subscribe to my Facebook, my Instagram, and my TikTok. If you would like to leave a donation, you could do that on my Cash App or my PayPal. If you need a reading or healing, you can go to my email address at cardinastephanie213@gmail.com. Make sure you always have a pen and paper. I just came out real quick to make a video of a movie that I was watching several movies today. So I'm gonna give you the downloads and the synchronicities that I was getting, which some of them are they're really connecting with a lot of videos and what's going on and all the videos that are coming out lately with mediums, readers, psychic priestess, worldwide. So let's just get started. So what I could tell you is that there is confirmation that's definitely going to come out about the state of Alabama, all right, and about racism and about how the government there and the authorities were lying, cheating, stealing, conniving, doing bad things to people of the African race. Okay, what I need you to understand is that there's going to be justice for those of you that are still alive and your ancestors for all the things that were done to many of you in that state. And this is just one state. Okay, this is going to happen in a lot of states, countries, but this is just one state. All right. So Alabama will be receiving karma for all of the things that they have done. All right. A lot of people will have to be apologizing to many of you in your bloodlines, for what they have done. Not that that's going to make a difference, but they will have to do that, those that are still alive, and receive the karma. All right. Many of you could have been separated or taken away from your families due to crimes, due to crimes and racism. Okay. And a lot of you're going to find out that your parents or your children are still alive. Many of you could have thought that your family members were dead. You didn't know where your family members were. They separated you because of racism, okay? Like I said, in Alabama and many other states. So you're going to find out that you could still have children alive. You have mothers alive, fathers alive, grandmas, uncles, cousins, okay? You have family, all right? A lot of you are going to start finding these type of things out, that you do still have family alive, all right? Some of you may have thought that people just neglected you or didn't care about you, and that wasn't the case at all. It was due to the ugly things of this world and the racism that has gone on this planet, which is a very ugly thing that has brought a lot of deep destruction to humanity, okay? But you're going to start finding out that you have, a mother, a father, family, that you may not have seen. A lot of you could be a lot older, all right? And I'm sorry for this, but you're still going to find these type of things out. Some of you might find some of these people and you're a lot older, they're a lot older, and they might not have that much time left. But I hope and pray that at least you will be able to spend some time with them, okay? Angel number 333 was on the phone. I need all of you to look up angel number 333. The other thing that I was getting a very confirmation was that there is fighting going on, all right, about property, all right, about there could have been some deaths and people leaving certain property, inheritance, different things, to people, all right, or not leaving things to people. And you got people out here fighting for land, fighting for inheritance, lying for inheritance, lying for land, manipulating people, places, and things, forgery to paper, forging paperwork, redoing paperwork that's government documents that should have never been redid. So all of this, I was getting confirmation that the rightful people that are meant to get the inheritance, that are meant to get the land, the rightful people that were supposed to get what they were supposed to get, how the wills and how these things were laid out originally will all come to the rightful people that are deserving of what they need to get. All right. Yes, some of you these people may have had your property, your inheritance since you were young. They may have had it, they may have been stealing from you for a lifetime, just depending on all of your stories worldwide. There's many different stories here. A lot of us, they've been taking from our people for many lifetimes, okay? But you're gonna be, all you need to know is that you and your bloodlines and your ancestors, you will get back what is yours in the rightful way that you're supposed to. Okay, that's all you need to worry about, okay? So a lot of that will be coming out in the next months, in the next couple of years, all in the next few months, the next couple of years, you're going to be seeing a lot more things coming out. All right. People are going to be getting their inheritance. People were stealing people's inheritance. People were stealing people's land. You got people in families that are fighting, sisters fighting with sisters, brothers fighting with brothers, family fighting with family. It's just disgusting, You always got people in the family, like one could be a lawyer, the other one could just be a regular house cleaner. You know what I'm saying? So, or you also got the ones that they take more better care of their own mother than the other brothers and sisters did. You understand what I'm saying? So everybody always feels like, they're obligated to something. And the sad part about it is that the downloads and confirmations I was getting is like a lot of these people, like what I was finding is that they're just worried about what they're gonna get when these people die. I mean, I don't see like, yeah, some of them I was getting in these movies like they had remorse, but on some of them they had like barely any remorse, and I'm like, damn. People are just worried about inheritance. People are just worried about land. People are just worried about what they're gonna get. Are you even worried that you're never going to see these people again? Did you even love these people? Do you even care? It's like, it's sad. But that's what's going on in this world. I mean, it's going on all over the place, and it's really sick to watch. And it's even sicker for me as an angel to have to get these downloads and synchronicities, but it is the truth. It's the truth, and it's what God wants to come out. So, I mean, those are the type of things that are going to be coming out. Somebody with the last name Boyd, you need to know your family, your ancestors, your bloodline. Boyd, B-O-Y-D. Your family and your bloodline, your ancestors, they're going to be receiving justice, okay? Whatever was done to you and your people, especially in Alabama and any states surrounding those, you're going to be getting justice for whatever they did to you and your ancestors, all right? I did get that download very strong. Some of you, you're going to find out that somebody was living on your land, okay? Also, but you didn't know, like a great-great-grandmother or a great-great-grandfather could have left you something, but they didn't leave it in the hands of family. They left it in the hands of someone else, like they trusted, like a stranger, until the time came for you to be there, for you to find out, for you to go live there or whatever. So you're going to find that out too, for some of you. What else was I getting? They're telling me to tell you that, like, a lot of things happen. Like, when bad things happen, we often focus on the bad things. But the divine is saying, oftentimes, when bad things happen, it's because, it happens. Yes, it's bad. Bad things hurt us. None of us like to go through bad things. But a lot of those bad things happen so that we can, so beautiful things can come out of it, okay? So yes, there could be a lot of things going on in your lives right now pertaining to inheritance, pertaining to court, pertaining to family, love, whatever, worldwide things, all right? But you need to know at the end of those storms, beautiful things come out of there. Like in this movie I was watching, we had two sisters that really didn't get along. After all this happened, they all ended up getting along because this black woman lost her son because of the people, the authorities, the government, the police, the bad police that was working with her kid's father. He wasn't a very good father, okay? He was probably trying to make money, for whatever reason he had. But they ended up taking that poor lady's son from her. They took her son from her. So this lady that was the grandmother of the mother of these two daughters, she actually let this black woman stay in an old shed. It's not really, I wouldn't call it a shed. To her, she called it a shed. It was a little house, but it was a rundown house. All right. It looked like a shed, but trust me, a shed is a lot smaller. So she let her stay there so that she could hide there because the authorities, told her to get out of town. They took her son away. She didn't know what happened to her son. They basically ran her out of town. So she ended up staying in that lady's shed, and all those years, so she was planning to save money and to find her son again. But after so much time had passed, you know, back in those days, like even till sometimes now too, these people, they're so scared because you got all these racism people. They hang people, they kill people, they do all type of things to people. So it's not like, she could just go and do whatever she wanted and go get her son and fight the police and fight her husband and all this, because they just kill black people like it's nothing. It's sad, but that's what they do. So she just stood there and she got older, and as the mother of these two grown daughters passed away, that's how these two daughters found this black woman living in that home. And the granddaughter went, that one of the daughters had a daughter, which would have been the great granddaughter to the grandma. And she thought that was the great grandmother, because the great grandmother and the daughter's daughter, which would have been the great granddaughter, they look alike. So she thought it was her. So the other thing they were giving me from the universe, like a lot of times, like you reincarnate, like we reincarnate as other people, like whether it's through our kids or their kids, we reincarnate. That's how we come back a lot too. We reincarnate through our own family members and we come back to life again. And that's why the daughter, the granddaughter looked like the great grandmother. You know what I'm saying? Because the grandmother, because she reincarnated and she came back. Okay? Sometimes you just look a lot like them. Like my granddaughter, she looks a lot like me. It just happens like that, So those are the kind of things that are going to be happening. A lot of people are going to be finding out that people, and then, these women, they wanted that property in the beginning. The one sister did so bad. She was lying. She was, telling the police that the old lady was bad, that she needed that property, that she was crazy. Some of you, this is what people are doing in the courthouse to me and you. They're lying. Oh, she's crazy. She's not in her right. They're not in their right mind. They don't need to get that inheritance. They don't need to have that land. They don't need to have this. They pulled the gun out on me. They're dangerous. They don't even have their life together. So these are what people are literally lying in the courthouse under the oath of God and the universe, and lying just to get materials and land and to have wealth. And that's sick, because that's confirmation that all of this, the truth is going to come out. The other download that I was getting is whoever's committing fraud out here, somebody's husband is going to jail for fraud. There is a masculine that could have a daughter or whatever. Some masculine that could have a daughter, you're going to jail for fraud. All right? For whatever type of fraud some of you are involved in, you need to be ready for it, because confirmation did come through this movie today, through the TV, that you are going to be going to prison. Okay? For however many years. Only the court and you know what you did. But a lot of you will be facing charges for fraud. Okay? So whoever is going to court for fraud and you're involved with fraud, you will be going to court for fraud. The rest of you, some of you, you had people that tricked. Your own baby mama could have tricked on you just to, for whatever reason. I was also getting to trick on you and tell the authorities, look up angel number 1414, angel number 1414, to tell the authorities that you excuse me, you gotta forgive me, I'm sick. To tell the authorities that you you like hide liquor or drugs in your products that you're selling. So whatever you're selling worldwide, and I've heard this several times already in my readings, I have spoken about it. So your own baby mama was the one that tricked on you, okay? Somebody's gonna find out their own baby mama tricked on them, about what they do with their products, or that they deliver drugs, or they're blackmailing them. They blackmailed you for whatever you have, got involved in. Um, what else? Trying to think of the important things. And somebody could be passing away. Some of you definitely have to be prepared. Some people are going to be passing away. Like it could be your grandmas, your grandpas, your mothers, your fathers. People are just going to be passing away, and many of you need to be ready for this, okay? They're going to be, it could be heart attacks. It could be cancer, okay? Different things like this. They're going to be passing away, though. You need to prepare yourselves, okay? Also, I was watching another movie about a young boy, and they gave me confirmation about the year 1991, and it was crazy. Many of you need to go look up the year 1991 and do your history and studying on that and research. But that was the year that I was born, 1991. All right. Excuse me, not the year I was born. I wish it was. That was the year I graduated high school, 1991. All right. So the year 1991, there was a young boy in London that I don't know if you remember, he had cancer real bad, and they started making all those cards about him, and that's how people started sending cards to the kids that had cancer, lupus, different sicknesses. And God was like showing me, like, for some of you, like, God's gonna use a miracle like they did with that kid. As far as I know, he's still alive. He's like in his 30s. Unless he died, and I don't know about it, which could be possible, but I don't think so. But a lot of you, you're going to be sick, or you're going to find out that your kid is sick. But you and your wife, or whatever, or if you are together or you're separated, whatever, you are going to fight. You're going to be there for your kid. Your kid's going to be sick, going to have cancer, going to have something. You're going to have to be going to all kind of doctors and this, and that. But what I was getting is like, you got to have faith. You cannot give up. You have to have faith. I was saying at one point in the movie, like, well, if don't make a kid tired. Like, in some situations, there's people that get sick and they're just tired. You know what I mean? Some people don't want to fight. Some people just get tired of just all the doctors and all the chemo and all the surgeries. And that's each person's choice. Then you got other people like this young kid in this movie. He was fighting with his family because he wanted to live. He had faith. Even though he was sick and he was tired and he was going through surgery after surgery and surgery after surgery, he did not give up. He was a true like angel. Like, he wasn't giving up. It's like he lived because he knew his mom wanted him to live so much in his family, and he kept telling his mom, I'm not gonna die, I'm not gonna die. And he lived, because he wanted to live and his parents wanted him to live. So some of you, you might find out your child is sick or whatever, and they're going to be going through things, but you got to know that they're going to be okay. They're going to live, okay? They're going to live. You got to just have faith, and you got to hold on. You can't give up. And the other sign and synchronicity I was getting, like, about the 7 kingdoms and about the different countries, because, like, they were giving me a download, like, when you go donate plasma, and they're like, oh, if you've ever been to London, or if you've ever been to any of these other countries, you can't donate, or you need to let us know. And I just found that, I'm sure they have their reasons, but I found that very discriminating. Like, I find that to be very discriminating. Like, and I'm like, God was like, and I was looking at this movie, and I'm like, I said, God, these people don't look that bad in London. Like, these people try to make us think, oh, all these other countries are so bad and they're this and they're that. But yeah, every country has good and bad people. But what I was getting is like God saying, like, no, they're not bad. They're not bad. Other countries are not bad. They're just human, just like you and any other people from any other country. The world makes you all want to go against each other. The world makes you want to hate each other. The world makes you want to think that you can't go to other countries. You know, if you look for bad, bad's going to be there. If you're manifesting bad, bad's going to be there. You understand what I'm saying? And yeah, there's sometimes that things happen in this life. Of course, to all of us, things are gonna happen and they happen. But I found the signs and synchronicities that they were giving me is like everybody's not as bad as the world tries to make it look like. That's what I was getting. Okay. Um, what else was I getting? Then you got like some of you could be going through things like, or you're going to be going through things with your family or with your kids or whatever. They could be sick, like I said, with sickness, with cancer, or could be going through things. You got to understand too now, if you do have other kids, you guys, other kids that you're responsible, don't remember, yes, the kid or the person, the family member is sick, but you also have to remember not to forget your other children, you know, because there was an older child that this woman was kind of like forgetting. Like he was making accomplishments, he was doing things, and he kind of felt like neglected. He didn't feel like love, like his mom was seeing what he was doing. So some of you, I'm just saying, you know, make sure you're not neglecting your other children for one, because one is sick or one's going through something. You have to you know, we have to balance our children and our families out. Even if I know if a child or a family member is sick, I'm not saying they're not gonna, you know, take most of your time, of course, but make sure you're not ignoring your other children or your family members because this one. Work together is what I'm saying. Don't neglect each other, because other people do have feelings, you know. We all go through things. We're all, you know, and if you're a family and a child or a parent or some family member, say, all of yous are going through it. You know what I mean? Everybody got their own pain, their own feelings, their own ups and downs. That's why it's called family. You're supposed to work together, not be fighting and arguing and, oh, well, you're not giving me attention. You're not, you know, we all got to have understanding for each other and and think about others, you know, even in the worst predicaments, like if somebody's sick or whatever. Um, what else? A lot of you need to start growing. Ooh, excuse me. A lot of you need to start growing your vegetables. They're saying your vegetables and your fruits and all that. If you have land to do that, make sure you don't even have to have land either. You could just do it in your backyard too, wherever you're at. Grow your vegetables, your herbs, your herbs, all your things like that, your fruits, whatever you could do. Okay, that's what they're wanting you to do too. What else did I get? I seen a couple movies today because I haven't been feeling good at all today. Uh, so those are the big signs and synchronicities I was getting though. I got a lot of burning and acid reflux, burning in my stomach, a lot of pain in my abdomen, my gut. Um, I'm not feeling well at all. Other people, I don't know if this is my own body going through this, or if there are some enemy and karmic dark people that are attaching themselves to me and in my energy. So I'm steady clearing out my energy. I mean, my belly button, everything is just hurting so bad. Besides what I was telling you guys about these people, I've been hearing them and watching them throwing shit up in the air in these helicopters and these planes, and I strongly feel like they're the ones bringing all the tornadoes worldwide. They're the ones changing the weather, making it hot and cold. They're the ones that's making sickness be on the rise. They're bringing out sickness and they do too much. The governments are going to be accountable for what they do. That's all you need to know. For all the innocent people that die because of for them trying to play with the weather or trying to get people purposely sick or throwing shit and doing too much, making tornadoes go all over. Just know they're accountable. They will be receiving karma too. And my prayers go out to all of you worldwide that have been going through the tornadoes. I've seen a few pictures. I know where I'm at, a couple towns over, they got a couple houses look real bad. I seen another one, and I forget what state exactly it was, but there was another state I was watching, and like a bunch of a bunch of apartment buildings were all like knocked down, cars were flipped over, and people are dying. And I'm sorry, my condolences. And I just hope and pray that your states and your countries and your governments are going to help all of you to rebuild and give you back, everything that you lost. I hope that many of you are learning to make sure that you're paying um home insurance. All right, it's very good to have that home insurance. They have some really affordable ones, I can tell you that. All right, because when I was staying in an apartment where I was staying, it had flooded and all type of hell was breaking loose because of the spiritual warfare I was in. But thank God I had the lemonade insurance, I think it was called. I think it's lemonade insurance, but they got a bunch of them. Just make sure you guys are getting that. Whether you live in an apartment, a house, whatever, that insurance comes in handy if there's any type of, accidents or things that happen or natural disasters. Okay. What else? I'm just trying to think before I get off of here. So, I mean, that's pretty much what I'm remembering. I did see several movies. Oh, then I was watching another movie. They just helped me remember. My throat has been itching like crazy, you guys, for the last 3-4 days. I got nothing but mucus and pain. It's like I'm messed up in so many ways. The other movie, there was this French. Some of you, you're with a French woman, and she's an alcoholic. Okay, you could be with a woman that's French and she's an alcoholic. All right, she might not take good care of your kids. Because this movie I was watching, she was French, and this woman, she wasn't a good parent to her children. Okay, some of you could be with a French woman, and this woman doesn't take good care of her children. All right, and not only that, she's an alcoholic. She could be a very heavy drinker. And a whoremonger. This lady was like sleeping with all type of people. It's just disgusting. And some of you, your poor children, you might know this or you might not know this if you're married or you're in a relationship with them, because they could be hiding it, but your children are seeing that the mother could be a French woman, like I said, or from France. The child is seeing this going on, that the mother's sleeping around with all kind of people. And they're like, who's that? Like, and they're steady covering up, making up lies and shit. So some of you could end up finding out that, from your own kids, that your wife is a drunk. She's a whoremonger. Okay. She's not who you thought she was. For the rest of you, some of you, some of you could be going through an situation as well, that you could be a mother and you lost your husband or whatever to death, however they ended up dying, and you ended up with the kids, and now you ended up getting you're an alcoholic. You ended up picking up a habit you should have never picked up. Your poor children are suffering because of your life, because you're trying to hold on to the past and you're not letting go, and now your poor children or your family suffering, and bad things are happening. You're drinking, your kids are not being provided for. You lost faith in yourself. And a lot of your kids, they're going to grow up and they're going to walk away from you because you weren't there for them. You weren't focusing on them. You weren't paying attention to them. Some of you, you got teenage daughters. They're already having sex because they're watching what mommy's doing. They're watching mommy and daddy, so they're learning from you how to go and sleep around thinking it's okay, and they're out here. Some of you, your kids are leaving from you. They're going to be leaving from you. They don't want no parts of you. And that's their choice, because when they were there, you didn't pay attention to them. So when they're gone, don't cry when they're gone. Leave them alone. Let them live their lives. When they're ready, they'll come back, hopefully. But for some of you, You could be like sleeping around, and I hate to be the one to say this, but some of you, you're gonna learn a very ugly lesson or karma. Like you're gonna either get raped or you're almost gonna get raped. Some of you, you could have got raped already or almost got raped because you're out here sleeping around with all kind of people, drinking and drugging, not watching your surroundings. And this either could have happened to some of you or it's gonna happen to some of you. Some of you, your kids, they might not respect you. Like I said, they might not have no respect for you, and then something's gonna end up happening to the kids too, where the mother or the father's gonna end up passing away because of something bad or whatever. And then they're gonna regret it. They're gonna regret it too, the kids, that they didn't, make amends, or they weren't there for their parents as well. So many of you could be going through so many things like this. What I did get in all of these movies I've been watching all day today and Sunday is that what I did like a lot was I saw a lot of African and Caucasian people together. Some of it was bad and some of it was good. But what I do like is that God is speaking to humanity, saying that there has to be unity amongst the black and the white, the African and the Caucasian. There has to be unity that takes place on this planet. And that's one of the biggest callings that I do have here on this planet. So that was what I was feeling a lot on these movies. Like God was like, showing that unity does have to take place. That's why we're here to bring reconstruction. The other thing they're telling me to tell you, which I already know because I've been living through it, a lot of these doctors, this little boy was sick, and he he was sick, and he was going through he was sick, and he was going to doctors in the beginning. They didn't know he had this big tumor in his brain, and he had went to one doctor. His mom took him to like 2-3 doctors. Well, they kept thinking he had an earache or whatever. And I'm like, the first time he went in and his ear was hurting, I knew already. I said, he don't got an earache. He's got a brain tumor. Something's wrong with the brain. And sure enough, and it ended up coming out the kid had a tumor. I said, I knew it on my own without no downloads. I just knew it because I'm in the medical field. So I'm like, so it's like God was also telling me, humanity, to tell all of you, like a lot of us, we're going to be getting justice too, and good and karma too, because a lot of these medical facilities, a lot of these hospitals, a lot of these doctors, a lot of these clinics have not been taking care of us the way that they should have been taking care of us. You got a lot of people working in the medical, doctors, nurses, people working in the medical field. They shouldn't even be working in the medical field. I'm sorry. I have to be the one to tell you this. But those were the downloads and synchronicities I was getting in that movie. And that's what I've been feeling. My own self at my age 50, going in and out of doctors. Even though a lot of black magic and voodoo and witchcraft has been done on me since I was a child, but a lot of it is my own sickness. You got people going in and out of hospitals like myself, going in and out of clinics. You got these doctors, either they know and they're not doing nothing, they're working with the enemy, or they just really don't know and they're not taking enough tests because they don't care, or because your insurance isn't good enough for them to do all the extensive testings and everything. So you end up running around sick, you end up miserable. They fix you, might patch you up with some pain medicine for a little bit, and then your ass is right back in there, and you're right back in there, and you're going back in the hospital, you come home. This is the type of stuff that they were showing me in this movie, and I go, I know, because I know I'm living it. I'm going through that. So a lot of doctors are going to be exposed too. A lot of doctors, a lot of hospitals, a lot of medical facilities worldwide are going to be receiving karma too for not taking care of people correctly, not doing what they're supposed to be doing the right way. Oh, and the other thing they were showing me too, and that's why a lot of people end up dead. Because you got doctors and people out here working in these hospitals and facilities, they shouldn't even be there. Because a lot of people would still be alive if they did their jobs correctly or knew how to do their jobs. Then they were also giving me the signs and synchronicities about hospitals working for the enemy. The enemy could be about